Alright, so in this video, I'll be showing you how to create a basic equipment graphic in FinStack. With FinStack 4.0, it's important to remember that everything is context sensitive. This applies directly to creating graphics as well. Where you are at in the navigation when you try to create a new graphic will determine what kind of wizard you will get. So with that being said, the first step to creating an equipped graphic is to navigate down to one of the equipment that you're looking to build a graphic for. Once you've navigated to the correct equipment, go ahead and click on the menu button to bring up a list of apps. Under the System Integrator Apps section, there is a Graphic Builder slide bar with 3 options. Go ahead and select New to begin creating your equipment graphic. Notice that FinStack automatically knows that you are trying to create an equipment graphic due to the context of our navigation. So now we can start filling out the form to help get us everything we will need to create this graphic. The very first section of the form allows you to type in a graphic name. You may want to keep this generic if it is going to be a relative graphic. Down below, you have an option to select between a few different templates as a starting point. Below that, we have the Graphic On Filter section. This determines which tags the graphic is going to be running on. FinStack will automatically fill this in based on the tags of the current equipment we are viewing in the nav. The next section allows for you to select one of 3 different options that will determine how and where your points will pull their data from. The first option is relative by tags. If you select this option, the points in the graphic will match up to the points in the database via point tags. This is a great option for graphics that will go on multiple equipment that don't necessarily have the same exact point names but do have the same point tags. The second option is relative by nav name. If you select this option, the points in the graphics will match up to the points in the database via nav name. This is a great option for when you're first building your FinStack database and you know your point tags are going to be changing a lot. Of course, if you choose this option, make sure your equipment share the same exact point names. The third option is absolute by ID. If you select this, your points will come in hard-coded by ID based on the exact equipment you're on when creating this graphic. This is a great option for plant type graphics and one-off unique graphics that do not need to be relativized to multiple equipment. Since I'm going to be using the graphic on multiple VAV equipment, I'll go ahead and select the relative by nav name option. In the next section is a list of points associated to the context equipment. In here you can choose which points you would like to bring into the graphic. You can select and deselect multiple points by using the Shift or Control keys on your keyboard. It is also worth mentioning that if the context equipment has any equipment refs, those points will show up as well. The last section below is populated based on the points you selected in the previous section. In here you can select which points will automatically get a component and Superman created for you as soon as the graphic is created. So for example, in this case, I will be selecting the damper, the reheat valve, and the SAT. And that's it. So now you can hit OK and the graphic will be created. If you look at the Smart menu over to the right, the graphic you just created should automatically appear there. Go ahead and click on the slide and select the Edit option to open up the graphics builder. As soon as you open up the graphic, you'll see that FinStack automatically brought in some ductwork based on the template we selected. And it also automatically binds and creates components with corresponding smart labels based on the points we handpicked to have visual components. Okay, so now I'll begin by going over the recommended workflow for creating the rest of your equipment graphic using the graphic builder. The first thing you're going to want to do is open up the Smart menu by clicking on the icon with 3 stacked lines found towards the top right section of your screen. Notice that the menu is now automatically populated with tools directly related to the graphics builder. Okay, so first we're going to want to go ahead and click on the Magic Buttons option. This will take you to a menu of available magic buttons which we can use to create our graphic. Under the Equipment section, select the first option called Smart Label to Graphic Objects. The first time you click this button, it will take the components on the top left and organize them so that they're much easier to see and work with. The next step is to take your components and place them on the ductwork. If you need to switch any of your components, you can select it and click on the square to bring up a list of similar variations. Once you're done situating the components, click on the same Smart Label to Graphic Objects magic button, which will then jump the smart labels over to the component that shares the same virtual point binding. You can always tell what point is bound to an object by selecting the component, then going into the Advanced Properties in the Property menu, scrolling to the bottom, and looking at the virtual point ref. Alright, so now that we have our graphical part done, we can now start adding in overview boxes. To do this, go into the Magic Button section and click on the Overview Box button and select the New option. This will now allow you to choose from a list of points that were brought into the graphic. You can then add a title to the overview box, and you can also type in a custom title for each of the points. When you're done, the form will automatically spit out and create an overview box that can be arranged anywhere on your screen. You can make as many of these as you need. You can also use the Smart Label Short Names magic button to add a custom name to any Smart Label component in your graphic. Once you're satisfied with your graphic, you can hit the Save button to publish it, and you're done. I can now view my graphic by using the Smart Menu navigation to find any VAV that shares the same tags that I had set on my graphic on filter. Originally, we made the graphic using VAV03 as our context equipment. Since I made this relative, I can now go to any other VAV and the graphic will load up the data for that particular equipment. So now let's check out some of the really cool things that FinStack does automatically for you without you having to do any extra engineering. The first one you might have already noticed is that FinStack automatically adds a glow to any point that has a status change. For example, if you look at the reheat valve, you can tell that it is currently overridden by the purple glow surrounding the component and the smart label. Another thing FinStack does automatically is it adds an action gear to any point that is writable and has actions. If you click on this gear, it will bring up a menu that contains all of the actions available to that particular point and to that particular user. From this menu, the user can select what type of command they would like to do and execute it. Another really neat thing, which is consistent throughout the entire FinStack software, is you automatically get magic bubbles for every point in the graphic. And the best part is that no extra engineering was required to make that happen. So in this example, I can quickly bring up the history for the reheat valve without leaving the graphics screen. One last thing worth mentioning is when we first opened the graphic, a title bar and information icon were automatically generated that simply just work. The title bar of course automatically reflects what equipment you're on, and even better, the info icon, when clicked on, brings up magic bubbles that are related to that particular equipment. So in this case, I can click on any of those options to view this equipment's info in the Smart menu. So for example, if I click on Schedules, I'll now see VAV1 schedules to the right. So that's basically all it takes to create an equipment graphic in FinStack. You fill out a form, organize your components, create your overview boxes, and you're done. FinStack will take care of the rest. So we hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions on the information discussed, please contact us at support@j2inn.com. Thanks for watching.